Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm your game bastard Kyle.
Todd.
Likely story. I'm Corey.
I'm just Austin.
Tonight we are playing Regency Cthulhu, a Lovecraftian horror game from Chaosium Inc.
A custom expansion from the standard Call of Cthulhu game.
Good summary, Austin. In case you're wondering, it takes place in 1813 in England. It is sometimes called Jane Austen's Cthulhu. And by sometimes, I mean they put that on the book. So our characters are all member of TEED, the Examination Association, a polite society that investigates the things that go bump in the night in England. Corey, who are you playing?
I'm playing Miss Emma Wentworth. She's a gentlewoman.
Austin, who are you playing?
I'm playing Mr. James Bennett, gentleman poet.
Todd?
I'm playing the Reverend Jennings Samuel, who at the end of last week's episode, his eyes beheld an eerie sight.
Yeah, so if this is your first episode of this game arc or your first episode of Bastard Quest, go back a few episodes to the beginning of this Regency Cthulhu game, because otherwise it will not make any sense, because the Reverend Jennings just opened a door in a mansion that leads to another world.
Yeah, we do handily label our episodes with 1, 2
numbers that follow a sequence.
Yeah.
So goddamn it, stop it.
Yeah.
Why do we keep having to tell you, Craig?
I mean, in fairness, when we started the podcast, we did use non-Euclidean geometric numbers.
Well, of course, but
we're done with that.
yeah. It always reminds it reminds me back in the 90s when DVDs first came out and like director commentaries were all the rage on the special features, and they would always say, I really hope nobody's watching this movie with the commentary before they've actually watched the movie. And you'd be like, who the fuck would do that? But there were fuckers who would actually do that.
That's actually the way I originally watched Jacob's Ladder. Anyway, weird aside, but true. Todd, the Reverend Jennings has just opened a door in North Lake Hall at the end of the long corridor. It is supernaturally long. It should not be, given the rest of the house's architecture.
Has gotten longer since we've been here as well.
That's true.
It keeps growing.
And at this point, it's in the evening. Jennings, it normally opens out. You push it out to go out into the gardens. He pulled the door in, and it opened onto an alien vista. Clouded skies, rolling thunder, lightning, and in the distance, a looming, almost pulsating obelisk. Cold wind rips down the long corridor, blowing Reverend Jennings' coat aflutter. An obviously alien realm.
He's going to explore.
Okay.
I'd like to remind the listeners, Reverend Jennings is quite alone.
And Todd's second character.
Yes, this is the Reverend Samuel.
The Reverend steps into the dark world. Meanwhile, Emma and Bennett are guests at North Lake Hall in the wake of the attack in which the Reverend associate was so cruelly killed, and as was Mary Hill. Likely by the same beast that got its hand on a pistol somehow.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Whatever it wasn't an accidental shot.
Got to do something about gun control with monsters. I mean, let people have them. They've been reasonable with them. But monsters, get them out.
The two of you are in the main parlor, comparing notes on what you've learned from your day's investigations. You've lost track of where the Reverend went. The new Reverend that replaced your previous one.
Well, yeah. By the way, I would just like to say I really don't feel like that the original Reverend's death affected them that much. I mean, there's not been like any kind of memorial or funeral plans.
Well, he was an American.
Yeah, we don't worship the same God.
Well, he was anti-vax. Like, it was just a matter of time.
They kicked his body into a smallpox box and threw it in the tins.
Mm-hmm. We actually kept a box handy for when he finally succumbed to one of the hundreds of ailments that took the English on a daily basis.
It's so many.
We basically just had one ready to kick the fucking lid closed.
So you're comparing notes, and I'm assuming Emma is going to relate to Bennett what she learned from the butler.
Did you know all butlers don't have genitals?
So what did you actually find out?
Emma explains everything that the butler told her to Bennett.
All right.
So let me see if I got this straight. Elizabeth told us about this blasted sacrifice this family makes occasionally in order to supposedly keep their wealth and access to these gems and beautiful trinkets and such that they sell.
Reasonable.
And the butler's telling you that this world where they make this sacrifice is accessible by opening this door the other direction.
Sounds reasonable.
I think we got to go check out that other corridor again. But first, I'd really like to find a weapon.
It might be good. At that moment, Emma's like, finished. And she's finally finished reloading her gun and cocks it.
The previous night.
Yes. It's been 3 days.
So, Kyle, Bennett actually made a little bit of headway socially with Elizabeth at the ball.
Okay.
I wonder if there could be enough to maybe ask her to help us procure maybe some other supplies like weapons. And
Or
such.
if she's cool with being bait. Because our
Yeah.
job isn't to save her. It's just to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, well, then fuck her.
Yeah.
She's getting married before me, and I don't like it.
Well, not yet.
Well, she last time you saw her, she was up in the sewing room, so you could always ask.
All right. So Bennett makes his way up to the sewing room,
Hey, wait for me.
Does Emma go as well?
Yes.
knocks respectfully on the door.
Emma knocks disrespectfully. Like, hey, motherfuckers, we're here.
They say, come in. You go in, and it's Elizabeth and her mother, Lady Lydia. They're sewing because there's no internet in 1813. Just a normal English sewing room. There's the clock ticking away on the mantle over the fireplace.
Backwards.
And Elizabeth says, oh, Mr. Bennett, would you like to join us for some embroidery?
Oh, it was very kind of you to invite us. Madam Elizabeth, I wonder if I might have the pleasure of your ear for just a moment.
Her mother's jaw drops.
Weird.
And,
Could I have a word?
oh, sure.
That's like the unsolicited dick pic in the DMs of the Regency period.
Yeah, the Reverend Jennings Samuel feels the cringe in another dimension. It's so strong.
Yeah, dude. That's not going to get her attention.
So, yeah, she steps to the side of the room, which is as close to privacy as you're going to get. And she says, yes, of course.
Miss Elizabeth, we think we've made a breakthrough in our investigation of this strange ritual you told me about the other night at the ball.
Yes.
And I wonder if you might be able to help us secure a few more weapons if we go hunting.
We go to her for arms.
She says, wait, are you not going to ask me to marry you? Because I thought that's where this was going.
I mean, I'll gladly do that.
I
but
will
in order to have
also-
your hand in marriage, I need to make sure you're alive and not sacrificed to some abominous hellhole.
But I'm richer. Marry me.
Elizabeth shrugs and says, I mean, I can help you get some guns if that's what you want.
I would really prefer that right now. We can talk about marriage when I come back.
Okay, roll your charm
Okay.
to see if she will still be interested in you after you come back.
Is there anything Emma could maybe do to help out?
Why would she help you with this?
Because she's got higher charm.
Oh, well, you're gonna get guns. This is just to see whether or not Elizabeth is still interested in Mr. Bennett after she gives you the guns.
Well, I'll happily roll for that.
And that's why I was saying I don't know why Emma would help with that.
Okay.
Actually, Corey, do you want to try to interfere on this roll?
Yes.
Well, you can tell that Elizabeth is a little disappointed that Mr. Bennett came for firearms instead of talking about courting or marriage. And so you could drive a wedge between these two.
Okay, can I use my fast talk?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think it literally means that.
Oh, shit.
But sure, fast talk could be appropriate here.
My dear Elizabeth, no, in 300 years or so, they'll legalize gay marriage and then try to unlegalize it. But wait, talk to me. We could go to the Cthulhu land and get life-extending drugs. It's the spice, isn't it?
Okay, so Corey, you can both roll your charm, and whoever gets higher,
Okay.
or whoever gets lower in this case, since
Okay.
this is called Cthulhu.
So it's not my fast talk, I'm rolling my charm?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you use fast talk. Austin will roll his charm.
Okay.
Okay.
My fast talk is 45.
My
Okay.
charm is 15.
Cool.
Can I only have opposed rolls against Austin from now on?
Yeah.
Please. I will slip you
imagine,
money under the table, Kyle.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right, here
You
we go.
just say the word.
Well, I rolled a 29.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty good.
Emma rolled an 18.
Oh, shit.
So Mr. Bennett says, and the gun's over here, looks out the door, turns around, and Emma and Elizabeth are just making out. Lip locked.
Hell yeah.
Bennett stands for a moment, ego bruised. But then he cocks whatever shotgun he has access to.
Elizabeth pulls away, takes a breath, wipes a strand of hair out of her face. Oh, the guns, yes, let's go. And she takes you down to the North Lake Hall Armory.
Oh, they weren't right there. I kind of assumed they were in the sewing room.
Turns out they weren't in the sewing room. No. This is the sewing room and where we keep the AK-47s.
Right, sure.
So she takes you to a closet off the main hall, not for making out, but it's full of guns. Blunderbusses, muskets, pistols, double-barrel pistols, rifles, shotguns, ninja stars.
Okay.
I'm interested in either that shotgun or the double-barrel pistol.
You can take as many guns as you could reasonably carry.
Can Emma dual-wield flintlock pistols, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to take a flintlock pistol, and then I'll take the shotgun. What's that damage?
The shotgun damage is 1d6/1d3/1. Basically, at 10 yards, it's 1d6, 20, it's 1d3, and 50, it's just 1 damage. And all these use the firearm skill. By the way, the blunderbuss does the most damage, 2d6, so...
Okay, Emma takes one of those too.
But pistols 1d6 plus 1, and the only difference between a normal, a regular pistol, and a double barrel is the double barrel is sexual. You can fire 2 shots before it has to be reloaded, basically.
Okay, well, I'm going to have a shotgun and the blunderbuss then.
All right.
What's the reload on the shotgun?
7 days.
It's on brand.
No, it's standard reload for basically all of these is 1 every 4 rounds.
Okay.
Cool.
Elizabeth takes a rifle and says, also, where are we going again?
You're coming with us then?
You're going hunting the beast, right? Is that what we're doing? You wanted guns. I assume that's what we're doing?
Well, we don't really know where we're headed. We just know if we open the door the wrong direction in the long corridor, it'll show us the world where these sacrifices are supposed to take place.
The door.
Yes, the door at the end of the hall, my dear.
Uh-huh. Have you two been doing Italian drugs?
I recognize this sounds like one of my more outlandish poems, but I promise if you just accompany us, we'll show you exactly what we mean.
Okay, sure.
And I have to tell you, since we're hooking up nowadays, they're going to sacrifice you.
Is this like
your family, my love?
Oh, okay.
They all sacrifice us in many ways, but in this case, you're going to die so they can get gems.
So you're definitely going to have to make some sort of roll on that.
Okay.
To convince her that that's the case.
I'll use Persuade.
Okay.
What do you have in Persuade?
I have a 40 in Persuade.
Oh, okay. Mine is too. Can I help him?
Sure. He can have advantage.
Emma got an 8.
Nice.
Which would be the hardcore success. Exactly.
She says, that explains a few things. And you all turn and you see the sewing room and her mom is standing there.
With a ceremonial dagger.
Sharpening a ceremonial dagger. Wearing like this bizarre...
she looks down at the garment she's been sewing and it has like a X marks the spot.
Yeah, she's wearing this bizarre Harlequin
the
death
stabbing
mask.
Gown. That's what they've been up there making.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jesus, because suddenly we're in a fucking movie directed by Uwe Boll.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and Elizabeth says, that explains why she always called my new dress the stabbing gown.
Yes, and I heard them call your birthday Die Day a couple times, which was a bit concerning.
It's on the nose, right?
Yeah, it's a bit kind of... I would have came up with something much better. You know me.
So you have convinced Elizabeth
yes,
that she is in danger from her family.
And I'll tell you one thing. When we get back from this... And I do want to say we're definitely going to play this like their sexuality is not an issue, and because we're playing in a fantasy world where things are not as bad as the real world.
Yeah.
So their gender has no bearing on their betrothal or whatever happens. Yeah.
Yeah, you could absolutely marry a woman in this era of England in our world, and it'd be
Regency Cthulhu, a reasonable world.
Yeah, please.
I mean, Lovecraftian horrors aside.
Sure. But I'll tell you one thing. When we get back from this, you can bungo my tuk-tuk all night long. Which actually does sound pretty dirty.
Yeah, it really does. Just as long as you Martin my Scorsese.
Ooh, okay.
Narrator, they're both going to die.
Wah, wah.
Okay, so are you guys going down the long corridor?
All right, to the long corridor. Pip, pip.
So meanwhile, in the dark realm where Reverend Jennings inadvisably went alone, Todd. So the Reverend is making his way over broken piles of black stone. The sky is dark, cold wind tossing his clothes. You can hear animal screeches in the distance, similar to what was heard in the woods the night of the attack, which killed the previous Reverend that you came to replace. And, of course, in the distance, the obelisk rising, the only unnatural structure, and by that I mean the only manufactured structure in the environment that you can see. And how far into the dark realm is the Reverend going?
I mean, he's just going for a stroll.
Okay.
He's fascinated.
So he makes his way to the obelisk, gets close enough to see that across its surface are hundreds of crude carvings depicting monsters and humanoid beings of strange features. All of them appear to be in some sort of agony. Unsurprising as they are being consumed by various other monsters and gods. Make a sanity roll.
This is straight up the Hellraiser thing.
Yeah.
With the faces in it and stuff. Yeah.
His sanity is 60. He rolled an 82.
Okay, so roll 1d4.
That's a 1.
You lose 1 sanity. But at the foot of the obelisk, you only saw this after you came over a low hill. You can see a black stone altar. Various runes, faded with unspeakable age, surround its edges. Unreadable and too worn to make any form of accurate translation, which, all things considered, is probably for the best. But you can definitely see numbers and letters that you recognize carved into the top of the altar. You study them. Each of them has a date about a century apart. There's initials and a year, JN 1413, WN 1513, BN 1613.
Oh, this must be the members of the family that were sacrificed over the ages.
Yeah, and finally AN 1713. There is not one for 1813.
But I bet it starts with E.
You can make a spot hidden roll as well.
25%. Ooh, 33.
How much luck do you have?
I'm a new character, so I have all my luck.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
Use that shit.
Just to say, you can use that to make the difference.
So I'm going to use 8 luck to get that down to 25 for a success.
So the Reverend notices that there is long dried bloodstains covering the top of the altar, and he turns away for a moment, and probably 50, 60 yards away, hunched over a stone, is some kind of creature that he's never seen before. It's vaguely humanoid, hairy. It has these protruding ribs, no head, but its monstrous, distorted face is in the center of its chest. It has these twisted arms that end in long claws. This is, of course, one of the horrors that slew the Reverend Samuel Jennings. So, Todd, as this is the first time this character has seen one of these, you need to make another sanity roll.
All right. Sanity now at 59. That's a 32.
So you only lose 1 sanity.
Yeah, he's read the Old Testament. It's fine.
It notices you watching it and shrieks and disappears behind the rock, and you can hear loose stone being kicked around. It's clearly running. Do you pursue it?
Yes.
Okay.
Look on Cal's face.
So you let's see. Do you have any tracking skills or anything of that nature?
Yes, I have tracking. It's 10%.
Okay.
All
right.
Daniel Boone over there.
All right, I'm going to roll my tracking. 24. I'm going to use 14 luck to get down to 10.
Okay. I mean, it would be so much better for you if you had lost sight of this creature, but over broken stone hills and across these flat plains that are almost a reflective finish, the Reverend inadvisably follows the thing through the dark realm, deeper and deeper into this twisted Cthulhuan nightmare. Finally, he sees it climb a low rise and disappear inside a cave. I'm going to ask this. Does the Reverend follow the horror into the cave in the Dark Realm, some miles distant from the portal from which the Reverend entered this otherworldly alien dimension for which he has no previous experience.
I've always had a fascination with spelunking. I will go into the cave.
All right. So we could draw this out and play this out, but here's what happens. The Reverend goes in and he never comes out again.
Oh, I see.
I mean, he's leading you to a group of horrors that are going to tear you apart, and like that's their thing.
Well, I mean,
It's kind of their shtick.
You know, Cthulhu's kind of into that.
yeah. I see the
I'm no
Reverend.
judge. I mean, it's
Right.
fine.
I mean, I see the Reverend as kind of like Uncle Frank in Hellraiser. You know, he's into it.
So Todd, if you want to, you can narrate how he dies in this dark cave alone, far from any other human, torn apart by horrors who eat him.
After walking into the cave, he gets about 10 feet in when he is suddenly consumed by pitch blackness. He can't see any of the creatures that beset upon him. However, he can hear them, and the mere sound of their voices begin to drive him insane, so that when they begin tearing his flesh from his body, he actually is enjoying it, and as his body is ripped asunder, he curses the name of Christ.
Wow.
And pledges allegiance to the Dark Lord Satan. And the last thought he has before the unspeakable horrors rip the head from his body is, "Oh, I never got laid."
Aw.
Meanwhile, Emma, Bennett, and Elizabeth enter the Dark Realm.
I start to say, is the door just kind of sitting open?
Yeah. He just left it open.
Yeah, that's handy. Yes.
Elizabeth is shocked that you two aren't just insane and that there is some otherworldly portal in her house.
Told
to
you, boo.
Wherever this is. I guess this is like Spain?
Ireland.
Well, you know, after the potato famine, what do we do?
So it seems to me, according to the rules of setup and payoff established in Aristotle's Poetics,
That's in character. I'll allow it.
that there must be some central figure of iconography that keeps this world connected to ours.
Ooh.
Something maybe like that obelisk over there.
Oh, we should listen to him. He's a poet. That means he's pretty much a scientist in these days, if you know what I mean.
Elizabeth just slowly shakes her head and looks somewhat askance at her new paramour.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, my new love. I'm ready to get married, and I'm ready to get married to you like Thursday or so. We'll have to. I'll have to look at my calendar, but to do that, we're going to have to stop this whole sacrifice business.
Either that or the two of you just have to escape. If Elizabeth can't be sacrificed, does that break the curse altogether?
Or you could sacrifice yourself.
I don't know about that part.
Okay. Does it have to be a virgin or something? We don't know these things.
You have no idea.
I started to say it's a generational sacrifice, so does it matter what member of the family it is?
I don't know. Maybe you guys should investigate.
Yeah, maybe we should go to the library in the midst of this chaotic time, Kyle.
Or you could go to the obelisk where things are written on it.
Well, I feel like the only logical explanation here is to investigate further into this land of ashen death.
Yeah, I think we should go have a look at that obelisk.
So the three of you make your way across the Dark Realm to the obelisk, scrambling over broken stone, helping each other over the larger boulders. You can tell someone else made their way in this direction
Ooh.
not long ago.
Ooh, looks priesty.
There's no sign of them, whoever it was.
We find a dropped neck wedge.
You do hear some horrifying screams in the distance.
Emma picks up the neck wedge.
Smells vaguely of Axe body spray. And you come over a low hill and you can see an altar at the base of the obelisk.
Oi, look there at that altar. Are those initials?
So the three of you are examining the altar, and Elizabeth does confirm that those would be initials of relatives of hers. The one she most recalls, Alistair Northlake, A.N. at the end, who died mysteriously as a baby.
Were they the firstborns?
They were all firstborns, yeah.
Okay.
So, what are you guys going to do?
So my first instinct is to try and get her out of here. I don't know if we have to destroy the obelisk or anything like that, if we can just get her away.
Let's shoot at it.
You could shoot at it.
So there's runes and such. We can't read much beyond the initials, right?
Well, probably not normal people, but you guys are members of T, so I don't know if you have any weird skills that might help you translate some of them.
I have an occult skill of 25.
Okay, roll your occult.
Can I attempt to help?
Yeah.
I have fine art. I mean, this is a nice obelisk.
Oh, yeah, you
right?
would know about certain things of that nature.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
you've seen one obelisk. They're all the fucking same. Like,
Sure.
There's no difference.
yeah, you can help increase his impact because I'm a kind and generous person.
Thanks, Kyle.
All right, so
And we don't want an episode 5.
Yeah. So,
Episode 5 is only good for Empire Strikes Back's.
Roll your dice, Austin.
okay, so am I rolling with advantage, Kyle?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's with the impact is what it's called, but yeah, it's advantage.
All right. So trying to beat a 25. Oh, I rolled a 34.
You got some luck?
I have literally almost run out of luck. I have 4 points left.
Can I loan him a luck?
No. Now, I do want to ask, Austin, have you made a roll in this game without luck?
I mean, only a couple.
So the two of you examine the obelisk, mark down some of the more obvious sigils.
Oh, you can see here it's very obelisky.
Yeah. Compare those to what you know of the occult and some of the documents provided you by T. You're both going to need to make sanity rolls because Austin failed his roll.
Okay. So our sanity is still the same, like from the previous monster attack?
Did you lose sanity in that attack?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, then it's down.
Okay. I have,
Once you lose sanity, it's gone.
Okay. I have 53 insanity.
All right, I've got 49.
Ooh, Emma got an 86.
I rolled a 51.
Both of you roll a d8.
Emma rolled a 6.
I rolled a 4.
Well, then Emma loses 6 sanity and Mr. Bennett loses 4, but studying it for a while, much longer than Elizabeth is comfortable with, she's urging the two of you to head back.
Okay, damn, girl. Don't do this in front of company.
The first lover's spat.
You gather that some sorcerer long ago constructed this, opened the doorway between worlds, and used the riches of this one. Apparently, there's supposed to be gems somewhere around here to enrich his house. You're not sure the sorcerer's name, but it's signed He of the North Lake. So, presumably, an ancestor.
So the obelisk is the power here.
Yes.
Fire!
Yeah.
I shoot at it.
Well, hang on. I need all the gunpowder y'all can give me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this is a large stone obelisk, probably 20 feet tall, so just shooting at it would be...
Yeah.
Okay.
Bennett's plan is to basically put together a mound of gunpowder at the base of this obelisk.
And send it crashing down?
Yeah.
Sacrificing himself.
Well, no, I mean, I can make a little trail of gunpowder to make a fuse.
Okay.
You can do the
I was
Wile
gonna
E.
say,
Coyote.
well, fine. You're not cool with the poetic death, whatever.
Some poet you are.
All right. Do you have any sort of mechanical or engineering skills?
What do you think, Kyle?
No.
No, I don't have anything that applies here other than like the base skill of firearms, which is 20%.
Well, you can always just use your raw intelligence.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
All right.
All right, you already said it. It's established.
Can I help?
I'm rolling to beat a 70.
Yeah, you can help Corey.
I think real hard at it.
Okay, so then I'm rolling with advantage to try and beat a 70 with 2 die.
Hey, why are you so confident?
Here comes a...
No, I'm setting this up. Like what I just say about Aristotle's Poetics, guys. I'm setting up some expectations. Let's see how it falls down.
Well, before you roll, Mr. Bennett is building a bomb at the base of the obelisk. Elizabeth and Emma retreat up the hill a bit.
Okay.
One, to give him space to work, and also because he's building a bomb.
Yeah.
And it's Mr. Bennett, the poet.
And I know nothing about her. I'm really trying to get to know her. Yeah.
So you two are there. The wind is whipping your hair. It's dark, and you hear a voice behind you. Preposterous. What are you doing here, Elizabeth? It is Sir James, her father, with a blunderbuss.
Fire!
How does Emma react? Seeing her father-in-law, future father-in-law there with a gun.
Well, knowing that he's aiming to sacrifice her future wife, Emma fires.
All right, roll your firearms.
Okay. Emma's got a 40 in firearms. Can I get advantage considering I've never been in love this hard?
Yes.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Hang on. Before she rolls her shot, can I roll to set up this bomb?
In a minute.
Oh, God. She got a 65, even rolling with advantage, but I've been sitting on some luck. I've still got 40 luck, so I'm using 25 to get that down to my 40.
Well, the shot pierces Sir James right through the heart. Oh! He drops the blunderbuss, stumbles backwards and falls. Elizabeth shouts, "Father!" and runs to his side. Emma approaches as well, other pistol cocked. He says, "I found the door opener. Why did you shoot me?"
Because you're trying to kill my future wife.
The hell are you talking about?
You want to sacrifice her so you can get all the gems.
What? No, I married into the family and took my wife's name.
Oh, well, legally in the 1800s, you can go to jail for that.
And Lady Lydia steps forward out from behind a rock with a shotgun and levels it at Emma's head. Home wrecker! Well, it rolled a 92, so the shot goes wide.
Emma catches the shot pile,
Is that right?
does a backflip, and throws it back.
You have another pistol, though, right?
Yeah,
Did you
and
take two pistols?
and a blunderbuss.
Oh, which would you like to shoot her with?
Both.
Well, for the purposes of this, just pick one.
Can I toss one to my boo-boo and have her shoot
Yes,
as I shoot the blunderbuss?
absolutely.
So my firearm is 40.
Okay,
Does Elizabeth have firearm skills?
she does.
Okay.
Not that good, but she has it.
Okay. Emma got a 13.
Damn.
Elizabeth rolled a 24.
Oh, y'all fucked her up.
So guns go off. I'm not even going to make you roll damage. Lydia is hit with several shots. She tumbles backwards, disappears over the edge of a cliff, screaming. She falls 10,000 feet.
Jesus.
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. She just falls like 10 feet and dies because she got shot by a blunderbuss and a pistol.
Well, yeah.
I would advise the ladies to go ahead and get through the doorway. I don't know what's going to happen when I blow up this obelisk.
Austin, roll.
Okay.
Yeah, the ladies are real afraid right now. They just fuck shit up.
Well, now you're empty.
Let him feel like he's doing something, my dear. He's a poet.
All right. So just to remind the audience, trying to beat a 70, and I'm rolling 2 percentile die. Are you fucking kidding me? I rolled a 70
Oh, yeah?
on both percentile die.
You know, I just...
But I rolled a 0 on the single digit die.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
I rolled exactly a 70.
You know,
Wow.
day in and day out of doing this podcast, like, at first it was just kind of funny that Austin was bad at this. Nowadays, like, I want to draw you.
It's starting to worry me.
It's beautiful.
I mean, saying he's bad at it is right. Austin he's a fine role player. He might be cursed.
There's something wrong with that. Start rolling lefty or something.
Yeah, I know.
Did you have any ancestors that just infuriated an Egyptian god?
Your wife's pregnant. Sacrifice that firstborn.
Roll better.
So Elizabeth says something to Emma along the lines of, "Do you think he knows what he's doing?" And they just see Bennett booking it past them straight to it. She says, perhaps we should, and they both grab
I
their...
believe the proper English term is to hold thine ass.
And they pick up their skirts and hightail it. There's a piercingly bright explosion behind them. You hear something that sounds like an organic scream as the stone from the obelisk cracks and splinters. And it begins to fall, and you can see the doorway in the distance flickering. So everybody, if you want to make it to the other side, you need to make a dex roll.
Oh, excellent.
Emma has a 70 in dexterity.
Okay.
Bennett has a 50 in dex.
Emma rolled a 40.
Bennett rolled a 41.
So the three of you pile through the door into the long corridor. Just as it flickers off,
Bennett
and
kicks the
disappears.
door shut.
Bennett loses a foot as it flickers off.
You all catch your breath. The Lord and Lady Northlake are somewhere on the other side of that other portal, alive or dead. You're not sure. But for now, Elizabeth, Emma, and Mr. Bennett are safe, although they're still in England in 1813. So, you know.
Oh, yeah, the polio is going to get us. Is that a thing back then?
Yeah.
It's a push.
And that concludes the long corridor. We assume Emma and Elizabeth go off and get married and carry on the Northlake name, or maybe they fall out after a lover spat in Paris.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, they moved to the exotic land of Scotland.
Ladies, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. As a poet, may I be allowed to preside over your wedding?
Absolutely not. We will find someone much richer than you.
So that concludes the long corridor. That's the end of our Regency Cthulhu excursion.
Okay, thanks.
Pretty great wrap up.
Yeah, what'd you guys think?
I didn't like it.
No?
No, it's stupid. Made no sense. Jane Austen would never.
Jane Austen wrote this.
Did she?
Yeah.
The lost manuscript.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of your characters died, Todd. So that's a record on the podcast now.
I mean, yeah, that rarely happens. So, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think there's something to be said for as poorly as I roll, how often I do manage to survive. Usually that's by Kyle's good graces, though, not really anything of my doing.
Yeah, you survive, but you're a poet for the rest of your life.
Really, if you were going to let a character die, you should have let this one go
Yeah.
off.
Well, I mean, if any of these characters are going to suffer from the fate of H.P. Lovecraft himself, it's Bennett.
Mr. Bennett. Oh, poor Mr. Bennett.
It's kind of cool when your character dies because you can just sit back and listen.
It is
Back and
easier.
judge.
You don't have to think.
That concludes Regency Cthulhu. Thank you to all of our Patreon members who support our nonsense.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for supporting this because it still blows my mind that people are actually doing that.
Yeah, more and more people have been signing on, and we can't thank you enough.
Yes, thank you very much. We should have named the obelisk after one of them. The obelisk of Herc, perhaps.
Herc obelisk.
Yeah.
Well, then we couldn't destroy it. We'd have to call it like the Colby and Kenny obelisk.
Oh, yeah, we would have
And then
moved in.
then it got tetanus.
Having Patreon subscribers, it like reminds me of when I was a kid and we didn't have a Christmas, and the Salvation Army would put up the angel trees, and people I didn't know would bring me stuff.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
All right.
So, also thank you to our sponsor, Barrel and Bond.
Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway, right at the foot of the Ohio River in beautiful downtown Paducah.
Enjoy all the bourbon you want, but when you go to the bathroom, the doors open, pull. Do not fucking push.
Never.
Yeah.
Nope.
Never.
Obelisk.
Definitely no longer contaminated with vinyl chloride.
It's true.
And thank you to you, listener.
Thank you.
Whether you're a Patreon member or you've left us a rating or you just like to hang out. But thank you for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
Austin.